Welcome back, everyone, to the one-on-one Green Technologies Investor Series. So in this video today, we're going to focus on the international dimension of the business. So within a period of, it was 2 weeks in February of 2026, one-on-one announced two significant supply developments. So one was a 17 million purchase order from a Japanese supplier and the company's first European supply agreement sourced from Spain. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at what each of these specifically means for the business and why geography matters. So the 17 million purchase order from Japan China Trading Company in Osaka covers up to 16,000 metric tons of shredded electronic assemblies as well as scrap metal. So that has to be delivered over approximately 1 year. So Japan is known globally for producing some of the highest purity e-waste that is available. So what did it take to clear the quality and compliance thresholds that are required to that market? And also on top of that, how long was that process?
Two conditions had to be met. First, we needed to complete the Basel Convention import permit application for Japanese hazardous waste, which is currently in its final approval stage. Second, we needed to satisfy the quality requirements of Japan-Chinese trading company directly. Japanese industry buyers have very high standards. The purchase order confirms that our San Rafael facility met those standards. The confirmation has valuable value beyond the contract value itself.
So the Japanese feedstock will be processed at the San Rafael facility to recover copper, aluminum, gold, silver, and other metals as well. So there is a meaningful difference between processing standard scrap and then processing this high-grade Japanese electronic assemblies in terms of the yield that you can expect, as well as the downstream value of the recovered product. So I guess my next question is, how does the quality of Japanese feedback affect your unit economics compared to what you've been sourcing domestically?
Japanese electronic waste is among the highest quality feedstock available globally. Better input quality means stronger recovery rates across all metals, not only copper, but also gold, silver, and palladium from e-waste are already enriched into our copper alloy ingots during the smelting process. Our downstream partners currently perform the final refining to isolate those metals. In the future, we plan to bring the refining capability in-house, which would move those margins directly to our income statement. Japanese feedstock makes those opportunities considerably larger.
So roughly 2 weeks after the Japan announcement, so then you announced the first European supply agreement with Recuperaciones Hermanos Huang in Madrid. So the initial commercial shipment is 22 metric tons. So that's relatively small. So investors, they may reasonably ask whether this is a meaningful commercial development or if it's more of a signaling move. So how do you frame the strategic importance of that first shipment?
Europe already accounts for about 1/3 of our raw material supplies through agents. The agreement with the Recuperaciones
Hermanos Huang. Yeah,
Hermanos
it
Huang.
took me up a little bit
Formalizes a new procurement channel in a region where we already have experience. The first shipment is the starting point for supplier relationship. The European Commission's target of 70% packaging waste recycling by 2030 is generating more e-waste than European processors can absorb. We received that materials in the Philippines process it at lower cost, and sell the output into Asia Pacific. The channel will grow.
Mm. Well, one-on-one, holds a government-issued license to import hazardous waste materials into the Philippines, and you describe it as only such license in the country for this category of material. So the regulatory position is what makes it possible to receive premium e-waste from Japan, from Europe, at all. So I guess my next question is, how durable is that competitive moat, and what would it take for a new entrant to replicate what you have built on the regulatory as well as on the operational side?
Our core operating license is permanently valid. It requires annual compliance review, which we have maintained without penalty or rectification order since we began operation in 2014. The license is not legally exclusive, but to today, no second comparable hazardous waste processing license has been issued in the Philippines. Our communications with the environmental authorities indicate that 1 to 2 licensed operators is considered sufficient.
Mm.
A new applicant would require 2 to 5 years for approval and would then need to build the facility, obtain all related environmental permits, and establish supplier relationships. That process takes considerable time.
Indeed. So you now have your supply agreements. They're anchored in, I believe, Asia, Pacific, and for the first time now in Europe. So as you think about building out this international feedstock network over the next 12 to 18 months, what regions of supplier categories are you prioritizing next? And also on top of that, what does a more mature version of this supply chain look like?
South Korea is the immediate priority.
Mm.
We already hold the import permits for Korean waste electronics, so that channel is ready to begin. Our current sourcing is approximately 1/3 Philippines domestic, 1/3 Europe through agent, and 1/3 other Asia countries. We intend to grow volume in each channel while maintaining that balance. The primary operational requirement is procurement personnel. The sales side does not require additional focus in the current market. We need more staff of qualified suppliers and oversee incoming material quality internationally.
So what is becoming, just to jump in, what is becoming clear to me is that one-on-one, their competitive position is not just about what it produces, but it's about where its raw materials come from, and then also who else can access them. So the combination of a regulatory moat, advancing processing infrastructure, and now genuinely international procurement network is a set of advantages that compounds over time. So for viewers at home, in our final video, what we're going to do is we're going to zoom out. Okay. And when I want to look at the global copper market itself, because the macro backdrop, that's inseparable from the opportunity in front of this company. So stay tuned.